everyone! Welcome back to the Daily English Studio. Have you ever felt frustrated that no matter how much English you studied, you still couldn't speak fluently? Well, today I'm gonna show you why this happens and, most importantly, how to fix it, so you can finally speak English with confidence and ease. So, if you're ready to take your English to the next level, let's get started. Alright, let's jump right into it. Reason no. 1. You are too focused on grammar. Now, let me ask you something. When you try to speak English, do you stop and think about grammar rules before saying a sentence? If yes, that's a big reason why you're struggling with fluency. Think about it. In school, you were taught English with a lot of grammar rules. For example, he goes to school every day versus he goes to school every day. But when native speakers talk, they don't think about grammar, they just speak naturally. To get to that level, you need to change the way you approach English. Instead of always thinking about rules, focus on communicating your ideas. Try using simple sentences instead of long, complicated ones. Simple sentences are easier to form in your mind and they allow you to express your thoughts without hesitation. They also sound natural and clear to native speakers, which can help you avoid misunderstandings. Here's a simple trick you can use to form simple sentences in English. Instead of thinking about subject-verb-object, think about idea-thing. For example, if you want to say, I have a blue car, break it up into two ideas. First, I have a car, and second, it is blue. By thinking about each idea separately, you can make a complete sentence. Finally, practice thinking about ideas, not rules. This means focusing on expressing your thoughts and ideas clearly rather than worrying about making mistakes. You can do this by talking to yourself or practicing with a friend or family member. As you practice, you'll find that you're less focused on grammar and more focused on communicating your ideas. That's the key to sounding fluent and natural in English. Reason no. 2. You're not practicing speaking enough. Let me ask you a question. How much time do you spend speaking English every day? If you're anything like most learners, the answer is probably not very much. Most learners spend a lot of time reading and writing in English, but they don't practice speaking nearly enough. But here's the truth. If you don't practice speaking, you'll never become fluent. Think about how kids learn their first language. They start by listening to their parents and other caregivers, then they begin to repeat words and phrases. Over time, they start forming simple sentences and then more complex ones. They don't start by writing essays, but by listening and repeating. The same is true for learning English. You need to start by listening to a lot of English, then repeat what you hear. To do this, try these 3 steps. First, talk to yourself in English. Narrate what you're doing. For example, I'm making coffee, I need to go to work. Second, use the shadowing technique. This is when you listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say in real time. It's a great way to improve your pronunciation and fluency. There are many videos of native speakers speaking English on YouTube. Choose one and start following along. Third, find a speaking partner. Even if you don't know anyone who speaks English, you can find a partner online. Websites like i.talkie.com connect learners like you with native speakers for conversation practice. Reason no. 3. You're translating in your head. Let's say you want to ask your friend, what are you doing this weekend? If you think in your native language first, translate it in your head, and then say it in English, this slows you down. When you translate in your head, you're forcing your brain to process information into languages at once. This takes time and effort, and it can cause you to hesitate or stumble over your words. Plus, translating doesn't always produce the most natural-sounding English. It often results in awkward phrases and sentences that don't flow well. But don't worry, there's a solution to this common fluency roadblock. You need to start thinking in English. And here's how to do it. First, name objects around you in English. For example, instead of saying mesa Spanish, say table. This helps your brain start thinking directly in English. Second, make short sentences in English in your head. For example, I need to buy groceries, or I'm happy to see you. This helps your brain make connections between words and form phrases and sentences. Third, talk to yourself in English. Start with simple sentences and then build up to more complex ones. For example, I need to buy groceries. I should go now. I will be back at 7 p.m. This helps your brain practice forming sentences and connecting ideas together. The more you practice thinking in English, the easier it will become. And eventually, you won't even have to think about it. You'll just start thinking directly in English. Reason no. 4. You're afraid of making mistakes. Many people are afraid to speak English because they're afraid of making mistakes. They think that native speakers will judge them or laugh at them if they make a mistake. But here's the truth, native speakers don't care if you make mistakes. They just care about understanding you. The biggest mistake you can make is not speaking at all. So, don't let fear hold you back. Embrace your mistakes and keep speaking. To help you overcome your fear of making mistakes, try these 3 tips. First, change your mindset. Instead of seeing mistakes as bad things, see them as good things. Mistakes help you learn faster and become fluent faster. Second, don't avoid conversations. Start conversations with native speakers. Don't be afraid to talk to them, even if you're afraid of making mistakes. The more you practice, the better you'll become. Third, if you don't know a word, describe it in another way. For example, instead of refrigerator, say cold box for food. This shows that you're willing to communicate and native speakers will appreciate it. So, don't let fear hold you back any longer. Embrace your mistakes, practice speaking, and become the fluent speaker you want to be. The 3-to-1 Fluency Method. Now that you know the 4 reasons why you might be struggling with fluency and how to fix them, it's time for a secret fluency hack. It's a powerful technique used by native speakers to improve their fluency and communication skills. It's called the 3-to-1 Fluency Method. This method is a great way to train your brain to think quickly in English. You choose a topic to talk about, then you talk about it for 3 minutes. Then you repeat the same topic, but in 2 minutes, then again in just 1 minute. Each round forces you to speak faster and find different ways to express the same idea. That's why native speakers use it every day. To practice the 3-to-1 Fluency Method, follow these 3 steps. First, choose a topic. For example, my weekend plans, my favorite TV show, or a perfect day. Second, talk about it for 3 minutes. Don't worry about making mistakes or using fancy vocabulary. Just talk naturally. Third, repeat the same topic but in 2 minutes. This time, try to speak a little faster and use different words and phrases. Fourth, say it again, but in just 1 minute. Challenge yourself to speak as quickly as possible. As you practice this technique, you'll notice that your brain starts thinking quickly in English. You'll be able to express your ideas more easily and confidently. Final message. Now, you know why you struggle with fluency and how to fix it. Let's recap. Stop worrying about grammar. Speak every day, even if it's just to yourself. Stop translating think in English. Don't fear mistakes, embrace them. Use the 3-to-1 Fluency Method to train your brain. Now, I have a challenge for you. Leave a comment below and tell me what's the biggest problem you face when speaking English. I'll reply to as many as I can. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode from the Daily English Studio. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.